typewriters were used everywhere.
Wow.
Typewritten, as making a mistake usually meant starting all over.
Interesting. What? If you made a mistake, you had to start all over again?
Reading a
Really?
paper map took skill and patience.
Thinking about how much brain power I'd have to use. Oh, I could not survive it.
Dating the old-fashioned way was all about face-to-face interaction. Rather than swiping left or right on a screen, dating used to be about making a real connection with someone.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite Gen Z Brit, born in the 2000s with a curious mind. Today I'm going to be checking out baby boomer life skills that are useless today. Now this is going to be very interesting because me being a Gen Zer, is if you take away the internet and you take away like any sort of electronic device, I honestly speaking, it will be hard for me to survive. I'm saying that now. So it'll be very interesting to kind of see like what skills boomers had to have had and why they are extinct now, which I could assume the reasons why, but it's to say, yeah, guys, look. If you guys are new here, of course, don't get subscribed and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on these videos, guys. I've got a lot of this content and more coming your way, giving you a Gen Z perspective, fresh, you know what I'm saying? So also like these videos because they also help push these videos into the algorithm, and they also let me know that you guys are enjoying these videos, that you guys want to see more. So definitely smash the like button, and of course, if you guys want to get exclusive bonus content as well as early access to some of these reactions, get in the description below and check out my Patreon where you can get all of that and more. I put some stuff on the screen for you guys to check out, especially you Gen Xers. That's probably cool effects. You guys probably don't know how to do that. I do. Yeah, us Gen Zers, we do not use the internet. Don't dislike the video, please. And of course, guys, this is from Recollection Road, guys. So of course, make sure you check out the original video. It will be linked in the description, and go subscribe to their channel, man. These guys are putting out some great content. I need to subscribe as well. But with that being said, let's get straight into this video. Let's go.
There used to be certain skills that were taught to us that prepared us for living a productive life. These were things that our parents would pass along.
Right.
Maybe they were even taught to us in school, or maybe we just figured them out ourselves. But regardless, they were essential to us. Nowadays, many of these life skills have been abandoned, especially with newer generations. So let's take a look back at these baby boomer life skills
to go from like essential to like useless now, redundant, like that's actually crazy to show you how much things have changed. Wow.
Generations. So let's take a look back at these baby boomer life skills that seem useless today.
I'm very curious. Shout out to Recollection Road, man.
Who among us doesn't remember the days when we had to memorize phone numbers? It certainly tested our memory, keeping track of our home phone number, friends' numbers, and select family members.
Wow.
Knowing these by heart was a necessity, especially when it came to making any phone call, and most importantly, if you were stranded by a payphone. It's hard to believe that we once kept all of these numbers stored right in our head, while all the other important phone numbers were written down on a list somewhere by the telephone.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense, having to remember phone numbers. Obviously now with digital phones and stuff like that, it's all saved and whatnot. But wow, okay. I wonder how many phone numbers people will be able to remember on average at once. I'll be very curious.
Down on a list somewhere by the telephone.
I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. We don't have to do that anymore.
Back then, we just didn't have the luxury of knowing who was calling, so there was no screening our phone calls.
Really?
When the phone rang, we answered it, no matter who was on the other end.
Are you serious?
And taking down messages for the other people in the household was all part of the process.
Wow.
It was polite and helpful to the person calling to ensure they would get a return phone call. No call would go to waste, because who knew what important message.
Yo, this picture is different as well. With these kinds of phones with the like stringy thing around, coils around it, and she's got high heels on her bed. Crazy. Not in this house of mine. No, you ain't getting no high heels on the bed. But yeah, or is that just normal shoes? That's not high heels. But yeah, even look at the bed and the decoration, the decor, the hairstyle. Yeah, even that's just a picture that's catching me off guard here. But yeah, that's different.
Be on the other end. Recollection Road is proud to partner with Legacy.
Sorry, Legacy.
Added in or plus be able to navigate in a paper sent off.
Oh.
GPS and digital maps may have made our lives easier, but let's not forget the satisfaction of unfolding a paper map and plotting a course to somewhere new.
Wow,
Reading a
really?
paper map took skill and patience to study every inch of the map, plus be
Wow.
able to navigate in real time. When traffic, construction, or roadblocks popped up, you had to plot a new course on the fly.
I can't
It wasn't
believe that.
easy, but at least you could never get lost. Road trips back then added an element of adventure, especially when you had someone riding along to help navigate.
That's just tripping me out. Like, even because what if you're driving by yourself and you wanted to go to a new place and you have the map in your hand? Surely that's dangerous for driving. And then it's like, if they're doing construction on the road, you won't know that. And you have to make it up on the fly. Damn, I'm deep in it. Like, if I was born in this time on the internet, it's long for me. It's actually long for me because I would not, like, thinking about how much brain power I'd have to use to get myself from A to B back in the day. Obviously, if I was born, then I'd be used to it. But just thinking about how it is now, I just put on a GPS, let Siri talk to me. And then compared to how it was, yeah, man, times have changed. Damn, yeah, you don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. Wow.
Sewing used to be a practical skill that was taught both at home and at school. Prior to mass-produced clothing available at every turn, many women would make their own clothes by using patterns and a trusty sewing machine.
Okay.
The sewing machine used to be a very important household device, and it got plenty of use over the years, and then it was probably passed down to you. Mending clothes, altering them, or even sewing your own shirts and trousers was a reflection of how we used to be much more self-sufficient. Not to mention, it saved a lot of money.
Oh my, okay, so now it's made, because my mum is good at doing that, she's Gen X, but I know my grandma, who's a boomer, had a sewing machine, and when I remember going to her house, I was like, why do you have a sewing machine? Like, what are you, but then, like, generally speaking, I think she sits and just sews all the time. To this day. So it's actually, when I'm seeing this video, it's actually putting things into perspective. Like, I didn't realize how much sewing was a thing for boomers, but it makes sense. And to be fair, when my clothes do kind of go, you know, a bit messy, my mom can always just sew the thing. So it's like, it is a good skill to have. I couldn't do it myself personally, but wow. Yeah, that's good.
Cursive writing, with its elegant
interesting.
swirls and loops, was a hallmark of our generation.
Cursive writing.
It's a style that added a personal touch to both letters and documents, and was seen as a much quicker method for writing things down.
What's
The
cursive?
art of writing in cursive was something we grew up doing,
What is that?
first by seeing our parents write, and then officially learning how to do it in the early years of elementary school.
What's writing?
Not only did it improve our fine motor skills, but it just looked more graceful, and seemed to carry with it a bit more of your own personality, which is something that text messaging just doesn't convey.
Wait, what's writing in cursive? Just a handwriting? Is this like writing in a certain way? What?
Own personality,
Writing in
which is
cursive?
something that text messaging just doesn't convey.
Okay, I didn't even know what that is. I'll be wrong. Writing in cursive.
Remember your first car? Learning to drive was a rite of passage as a teenager, and many of us learned to drive using a manual transmission.
Oh, wow.
Some cars had a 3-on-the-tree column shift, while others had a stick shift with 4 on the floor.
Oh.
Driving back then required both feet and both hands, plus the wherewithal to know when to change gears.
Well, that's different.
While automatic cars have become the norm, knowing how to drive a stick shift was a valuable skill and a true connection to the driving experience.
You still kind of get those today, to be fair. Okay, cursive is a style of writing that has joined letters written with the help of loops. So it's just like there's a way of writing. What's the big deal? What is the big deal with that? Like, I can write like that. Like, I remember Karen Morgan making a big joke about how Gen Z doesn't know how to write in cursive. Mate, I could write in cursive if I really wanted to. Even though I don't really write with a pen nowadays. I write with an Apple pen, like that's digital and it's Bluetooth. But what's the big deal? Like, I don't know why people make it out like writing in cursive is like it's like writing in hieroglyphics or writing another language. It's just a style of writing, no?
To the driving experience.
Yeah, I could write in cursive.
Balancing your
Yeah.
checkbook was taught to us because it was the foundation for financial responsibility. Our income and all of our expenses were reviewed at least once a month to keep things accurate.
Makes sense.
This skill taught us the value of money and helped us to live within our means, which is something missing in today's world. With credit and debit cards making spending easier and easier,
True.
many young people nowadays lack the fundamental financial literacy of balancing a simple checking account.
Fairs. But to be honest, I did maths in college, so for me, it's like that's not really much of an issue for me. I could do that, but I guess other people I can see other Gen Zers not knowing how to do that. To be fair,
Balancing a simple checking account.
that's crazy though.
Before the internet, we all relied on our alphabet skills to find things, from looking up a definition in a dictionary to running our fingers down a card catalog at the library. It seemed everything was organized alphabetically. Do you remember doing research using encyclopedias? First, you would locate the correct volume. Then you would flip through the pages to find what you were looking for by the first letter. This very basic skill was much more valuable back then, and it's yet another example of how figuring things out yourself meant using brain power to first figure out where to look.
That's facts. I've heard of that before, but of course, it's not really much of a thing nowadays. So, yeah, fair enough, man.
Brain power to first figure out where to look.
Yeah, that's different.
The art of writing letters was a communication skill that dominated for centuries. Handwritten letters were
Hold on a second. What does he mean about the art of writing letters? Like, where's the art in that? Like, yeah, I was born like in a time where everything's digital, but it's to say, where's the art? You're not gonna convince me just because I'm a Gen Zer that there was art in that. There's no art in writing a letter. It's just a letter. Okay, what is this guy talking about?
Were the only way to communicate long distances before the advent of the telephone. Not to mention, it taught us patience. Letter writing was common throughout the 20th century, and it carried with it our own personal touch, showing that we cared enough to sit down and craft a message specifically for the recipient. These letters often created lasting memories that became keepsakes for some, and simply strengthened connections between people.
Yeah, I'll be real. Like, I know how to write a letter now, but it wasn't something that I always knew how to do into my late teens. Okay, I still didn't really know how to write a letter until I was like forced to do it. What did I have to do write a letter for? I can't remember exactly. But even nowadays, I could do an email. I can write an email. Writing an email is basically like writing a letter, though, just in digital form.
Typing on a typewriter was once part of everyone's schooling.
Wow.
The class taught you how to line up your fingers and then memorize the layout of all the keys, which helped to build up your typing speed. You also learned how to maintain a typewriter, which included loading in sheets of paper, replacing the ink ribbon when needed, and dusting off the type before use.
No, these pictures are tripping me out. Are you telling me in a class you had typewriters like that? What? That is so different. Oh my days.
Replacing the ink ribbon when needed, and dusting off the type before use. This important skill was essential for most of us because typewriters were used everywhere. Typewriters also taught us to be detail-oriented, as making a mistake usually meant starting all over.
Interesting. What? If you made a mistake, you had to start all over again? You couldn't just scribble it out and go from the beginning. Oh, I could not survive in the baby boom. A Gen Zer couldn't. If a Gen Zer took a time traveling machine back into the boomer days, we would not survive at all. We will not survive. Because that is crazy. Wow, and they're so huge. You're telling me I have to redo the whole thing? Oh, that's torture, man. That sounds like torture to me. Crazy. You
Making
guys,
a mistake.
You guys pulled me into some stories, and I'd love to know what that was like for you guys. If this was true, what he's saying.
They meant starting all over.
Crazy.
In most homes of the past, there could be found a set of dishes that were only used on special occasions. The fine china would be displayed in a china cabinet year-round, right up until that very special holiday dinner or party, where the dishware transformed the ordinary meal into a memorable event. These dishes were usually passed down through the generations, but storing them and the tradition of using them on a regular basis is something that you very seldom see today. Of using them on a regular basis is something that you very seldom see today.
That's true though. Because you just use it like every day. Like
Dating the old-fashioned way was all about face-to-face interactions,
Okay.
genuine conversations, and getting to know someone deeply.
Right.
It's a slower, more intentional approach to finding a significant other. Rather than swiping left or right on a screen, dating used to be about making a real connection with someone and understanding their values before committing. This also required us to have good social skills, manners, and good hygiene if we expected to find that special someone. Dating today is quite different because you never know what you're going to get after seeing their profile picture.
Yeah, I could speak about the dating scene and how that's changed for days, but it's so true, man. Even like how I met my ex and the girl that I'm with now is through online. I didn't meet them in person before I knew them, and that seems to be the case of a lot of people my age, especially. Which is kind of actually sad because I know, at least I know my generation, when we see a movie of how people used to meet back in the day and how it was like very authentic, it would be kind of, without the digital stuff. It could be quite romantic, but obviously now it's like, you just swipe left and right, which is so true. But I also do think there's a lot of pros to it as well, because then you can just sift through like the people that you don't have stuff in common with and stuff easily. Whereas in person, I could approach you in person, but just find out after 5 minutes speaking to you that, I don't want to talk to you again. But at least online, it'll take me 10 seconds to see your profile. And I'm like, okay, see the intro. Okay, yes, no, type thing. But food for thought, man. Times have changed.
There was once a time when we valued doing most things ourselves. From the simplest things, like manually rolling down a car window. It was all about the effort. We would physically go out to eat,
Wow.
rather than have it delivered. And we
True.
used to have to go to the bank on a regular basis, and actually go inside to deposit and withdraw money.
Wow.
Which also meant we had to interact with the bank teller.
That's so
All of
extra.
these things remind us of the simple pleasures of going about our life. These
Wow.
manual actions were not only part of our daily routines, but they taught us to appreciate the little things that filled our lives.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, we don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that seemed like the end of the video, guys. But yeah, even what you were saying at the end about like having to go through all of these mechanical steps and stuff like that, actually do it. It also makes me, I guess, appreciate the things that I have now and just how convenient things are. Because I don't have to think about, you know what I'm saying, having to go and actually get cash out, and I can order stuff, even though I personally like to get it in person, and I do like to go outside. I'm not all the way Gen Zer, like I'm not all the way digital. Like I do appreciate doing things in real life, but it's interesting. I'll be really curious to see what you guys thought about kind of my perspective on things in terms of like how I react to some of the things that are not normal for you. Because for me, like this is not common. Even winding down the window. I remember when I was really young, my dad had a car like that, and yeah, that's a forearm exercise. Like now you press a button. But so much has changed, man. Look, and I'd love to know if you guys thought if a lot of these things are true. Like I said, is there anything that he missed out? And yeah, I'd love to know some of your personal experiences with this stuff, man. And you guys like to type long paragraphs and stuff, so I always try my best to read through it. I'm still getting used to reading through them because it is a lot of reading. And us Gen Zers, we don't really read. We listen to audibles. So, take that into consideration. Give me grace. But guys, they've made it to this point. Comment on a white heart. So I know who my real ones are. So I know who made it to this point. Or hashtag flex up, because I know some of you guys still struggle with emojis to this day. So you could just type hashtag flex up, it's easier. And of course, guys, look, I'm the boy JayFlex. This has been Baby Boomer Life Skills that are useless today. And for those guys who made it to this point, you guys are absolutely wonderful. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.